Kate,
Joel.
you're a friend, you're a teammate, and you're a sprinter.
Yes, I'd like to think I'm all of those, or was a sprinter.
Just thought I'd share those sentiments with you, because no one said that this week. That's not one of the many tissues we're going to discuss today on the Wheelhouse podcast, episode 96.
Good heavens!
Pick up sticks.
We're getting there, aren't we?
Buongiorno. Buongiorno to all.
Bellissimo. What a beautiful day it is.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? The sun is shining. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Giro rolls into another week, and I tell you what, it's not even a joke to say the dominance it's almost nauseating. The dominance that we've seen, it's out of control.
There is a lot of debate. Last week's show, we were talking about, and it was early days in the Giro, that the media, the social commentators, would probably get so bored of writing about him that all sorts of things would come up. We're kind of in that territory.
Yeah.
Because the debate of, is it exciting or boring to have somebody dominate so much? We've had that conversation for years now.
Yeah, it has for 96 episodes.
That has been flicked from the rundown.
Yeah,
we're going to get a bit more creative on how we address a show around someone and around an event that could essentially just be, how good is Katey?
Yeah.
Excellent. See you next week.
Yeah, exactly. See you in episode 97. But look, a lot happens around the periphery as well. We're going to talk about various shades of colour and its impact. We're going to talk about a couple of incidents that have occurred away from the Giro that have raised our eyebrows in either concern or dismay. We'll get through to that as well. Another massive name who likes winning a lot has won again. I don't want to give too much away, but I will. It was Cav. We're going to talk about that. And also Demi Vollering. We always talk about Demi Vollering. It's usually she's won again, she's done this, but has she done it in the spirit of the sport?
I'm going to throw some shade.
You're going to throw?
That's all I'm going to say.
All right, order. Let's get into it, Catherine. So, takeaways. Pogacar is just making a mockery of everyone else at the Giro, and that's because he is amazing. But the dominance has gone to a level that I think has even outpaced you, because you're across everything, but you didn't quite have a nickname ready for him in anticipation of this level of dominance.
Dominance.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking, like, what rolls off the tongue? Now, there's some background on this. This started because on X, formerly Twitter, if you will, there was a fantastic post by the Giro D'Italia themselves. And can I say, whoever runs the social media account for the Giro, I am in awe of you. It is excellent content. Yeah. But they posted one of Katey eating a piece of focaccia. Katey focaccia.
But then...
How good is that? Pogacar,
and
focaccia. It's perfect.
Kate Bates, OLY, did her thing and went on the research rabbit hole.
I did. And helped by some of the Twitterverse, I might say, the etymology of the word Pogacar is actually bread.
No!
Ergo, he literally is Katey focaccia.
You're kidding me.
So there we go.
Wow.
But I don't think, in terms of finding a nickname for him, that's great, Katey focaccia. But I think I'm looking for something like a synonym of dominator.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well, okay, so we just mentioned Demi Vollering. Easy territory. Demi Nation, Demi Lition, Demi Station.
And
Today...
Katey focaccia works perfectly for the Giro, but less well for the Tour.
Yeah, even though it is literally bread. Like, you know what? You can go so many places.
We could call him Baguette Boy. Although that nickname doesn't really feed into how dominant he is. Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really... I mean, Katey the Conqueror?
That's good. I like that. Yeah, it's got a bit of...
and then we can...
accuracy.
Change it per language.
I've got one. Because let's be honest, it's just very, very, very quickly. You can go to so many places to get the results and who outpaced who, whatever, in the Giro. I challenge you. I defy you to go anywhere else to hear that today being called focaccia is actually etymologically accurate. I just want to give you a little hat tip there.
Yes.
Can I suggest tomorrow? Because he's always ahead. He's always in the future. And his name's today. Why don't we call him tomorrow?
I like that.
Tomorrow.
Although
or Tomoza.
it takes a little bit of
Explaining. As all the best jokes and nicknames should.
Well, in Italy, the nickname for their national teams and such is Azzurri.
Azzurri, yes, of course.
Blue.
Yep.
The Blues. If you go to any great sporting event where France is playing, what do they shout? Allez les Bleus.
Les Bleus. Les Bleus.
Go the Blues.
Go the Blues, yeah.
So same nickname but completely different.
Yep.
What do we do during State of Origin, Joel? Can the Blues.
No, we don't. No, we absolutely, categorically do not.
No, we do. Also, the Blues. So I think that it doesn't even have to be a unique nickname.
You really skipped ahead there.
It just needs to go to the colour, like to to the word. So
depending on the tour, we call him Pinky Man or Gold Yellow Man.
Oh, where's pink come from?
I don't know.
Oh, like the Maglia Rosa.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Redman. Rojo.
Oh, so we could just let's work on that.
Let's work on it.
We've got some really wonderful people in the community that are very creative. Like, can one of our wheelhouses, could you please help us with a nickname for Tadej Pogacar?
And it has to be better because I want to say Pogacar is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
It has to be better.
I would like something that alludes to his profound winningness.
The baker.
The baker.
The baker.
Always comes through with the goods.
Always bakes up a victory. And also bread.
And
baker.
also, okay, all right. Well,
look, clearly
might
we
be
need
top
a bit
of the
help.
list.
Another topic too, the fact that the word blue came up so much is also pertinent to episode 96 of The Wheelhouse. You're going to hear a little bit more about cycling's growing obsession with the colour blue as well. It's, one of those things. If it works, it works. Let's talk about the Dominator. Tadej, tomorrow, the Baker, Focaccia, whatever you want to call him, getting through that first week, making a joke of everyone. Now, some of the things he's been doing, we've been like, that's him, he'll do it. One particular action this week did get a little bit of, come on, mate, really, with that? And forced him to come out and say he's a friend, he's a teammate, he's a sprinter. He's talking about, of course, Juan Sebastian Molano, leading out a sprinter. When you're wearing the pink and you clearly have the ambition of not bequeathing the pink to anyone while riding in this tour anyway, what's your take on that action?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's got a lot of tongues wagging.
Thank you.
Was he arrogant in doing it? Was he dangerous?
Dangerous to his own hopes or to
dangerous to his own hopes?
Yep,
Was it a risk he should not have taken? He's led his teammate out in the sprint and he said, of course I should. They work for me, I work for them. That's how it works. But he's put himself right in the middle of a very dangerous bunch sprint. Mm-hmm. It went fine.
Yep.
There were no accidents. But there is a much higher risk of an accident in that setting. Had he have limped across the line with some damage done to his body because of a crash, would his team still be saying, but he's a good bloke, he was supporting his teammate?
Yeah. You know what I can hear? Some ponderous breathing. I feel like our man Merckxy has a comment here. Merckxy, hello. Welcome to 96.
Hello, team. I think every bunch sprint's dangerous. And I just want you to remember when Geraint Thomas led out Cavendish, who's not even on the same team. So I think it's great. I love it.
That's true, but that was the final stage last year where he had already gotten second and so slightly different. But I agree, Merckxy. I, in fact, reckon he's of the personality. He's so fun. He's so cheeky. He loves racing that you need to let him do his thing.
Is he doing this? Because his narrative has been around saying, look, mate, I wanted him to do well. Is he saying I was the only one who could put him in this position? He got third on the stage, so he didn't win, but whatever. Or is it him saying, hey, hold my beer. What can't I do?
Column A, column B.
Bit of both.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
He had to step up because Oliveira, who'd helped him so much in previous stages, was pretty fatigued after all of that. And so he wasn't there to help in the sprint. So Tadej kind of stepped up to do that job. So a little bit of that, maybe, like understanding for Molano that he does deserve a lead out.
Yeah.
I think it's a moment in time where we could be proven very right or very wrong, because if he goes on to win, this is just him being genius and dominant. If he goes on to get beaten, this will be reflected on as a moment of arrogance.
Is that the moment?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Where instead of saving his energy, instead of riding conservatively on days that he absolutely has no GC need to do anything, he's still wasting a bit of energy.
He's still so young, but he has raced enough and won enough at this level to surely have that sorted out. Like,
I mean,
as far
But
as
guys,
the pacing
but
goes.
he's won the Tour de France.
I know,
He knows
but
what.
given that Merckxy, I think 3 weeks is a long tour.
Yeah.
A lot of the Queen stages are yet to be determined, and we have seen him crack before.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
lost tours by cracking on days that we thought he'd be dominant.
Yep. He's had a little bit of a Giro, whatever, attitude. Let's be honest. A little bit of a Giro yawn in a respectful way. But
Well,
he's been like,
I mean,
you know.
in saying that the pasta was, he could live
Yeah,
without
exactly.
the jersey but not without
Exactly,
the pasta.
That's exactly the quote, yes.
So maybe that's his way of taking pressure off himself when everybody's putting so much on him. I don't know. I think it makes for good, interesting bike racing to watch.
I want to throwing the crystal ball. Stuff like this, the attacking from 1,000,000 kilometres away, like basically attacking last week. Is this? Are we seeing the formation of a change in the way bikes are raced at this level? If he wins, if he continues to win it's still going to have to do it for a little bit longer, but. Is this one of those, you see it come into sport where it's like this team started doing this, all of a sudden everyone has to change the way they go about it? Is that
I
who
don't
this
think
guy
so.
is?
If he goes on to win, they'll say
Yeah.
he is just so good that you can't race like him because nobody is like him.
Yeah.
So that would be silly and arrogant of us to try and do that.
Yeah.
If he loses, then people will say, see, that's why you don't ride like that.
So either way, swing. Nice
Yeah,
and
either
deep
way, I
shuffled,
think
okay.
that's the value of him in the sport, is his uniqueness, either in his sheer dominance or in his preparedness to risk it
Yeah.
anyway and not ride the safe race. So I like it. It's charismatic. It changes it from just a dominant rider winning all the time. And the likes of Froomey, when he was winning all the time, people weren't particularly thrilled. But Podgy somehow has a way of still winning in the same dominant way, but making it a bit more exciting.
Okay.
I think it's because he's cute.
You think?
He's quite cute.
He is. He's quirky too.
Yeah, no, he's like,
And the little hair tuft.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's also a demonstration of team spirit, a deep streak of team spirit. It's never
Smells
a bad
like,
thing.
oh no, that smells like teen spirit.
We can adapt that. Smells like.
Smells like team spirit.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Yes.
Yeah. You think that's
That's
his
his
nickname?
nickname. His nickname is Yes or Yep.
Yep.
Yes today. Because he can just do it. It's yes to everything, including leading out for your sprinter.
Yesterday.
Should he? Do you think he's prepared? Like moves like that, is he prepared to lose the pink? Should he lose the pink at some point?
I don't think he's prepared to, but I don't think it would matter if he did, if it was to a rider outside the top 5, or even if it was, to be honest. I mean, he's leading by 2.5 minutes, and Merckxy pointed out, massive lead
Yeah.
in the first. Well, I'm not going to call it the first week. I'll call it the first block, because we have
Rest
3
day.
different tranches ahead of the rest day.
Yeah.
But by that rest day, it's quite a dominant fashion. But if we look back to the Tour a couple of years ago, he was leading by 4.5 minutes pretty early on. And so I don't think it's all over Red Rover. I really don't.
Okay. Oh, that's dramatic.
I reckon Merckxy's going to replay this at the end of the Giro and go,
Who's it going to be? Geraint?
well,
GT.
good
Bora, the
good,
Bora guy?
good question.
Yeah.
I think that Glutzy O'Connor
Oh, thank you.
could pull something out if they give him the rope. Like
Okay.
if they're too busy fighting amongst themselves,
Yeah.
then I think potentially he could ride off and not be the focus.
Yeah.
Geraint Thomas, I think, has had too many results to be let go, to be that one
go
that they
overall,
say,
yep.
ooh. But, out the Brooks, he's a bit of an unknown. And I think those young ones, they're the ones that could really create an issue because you see all the talent. And look how quickly Evenepoel and even Pogacar himself came out of talented to so dominant. Mm-hmm. It can literally happen between races.
Yep.
So...
Well, I'm glad you brought up to Brooks there, because there's a touch of destiny about those performances as well, for sure.
There is.
I reckon poor old Jonas is watching going, holy shit.
I reckon, I mean, apparently he's on good track for the Tour, and so is Evenepoel. So I reckon they're both sitting back doing a bit of due diligence.
Can I just have that soundbite again, Merckxy? What's he saying?
Well, he possibly would be saying, holy shit.
Holy shit.
I don't know.
No, that's great. I'm taking notes.
It's like
my accents are terrible.
It's my generic accent.
Yes. Hey, honey, are you watching this? Holy shit.
Holy shit. Cousin Kate invited us to Christmas. Are we going to make it? Holy shit. Okay. It sounds like he is prepared to let go of the pink in a certain sense. Maybe not let go as much as find a mixy-matchy outfit, because we've seen an outfit hybrid, a combo, Kate. And you're already sighing here. You're already exhaling and sighing.
Well, this is very much a WTF UCI.
Yep.
Didn't take long before we're back.
Ding. Yep.
And actually, one of our listeners pointed this out at the end of last week's show. Very soon thereafter is what started this saga. So we're going to talk about it. It's ridiculous.
Please.
Pogacar got on the start line with the Maglia Rosa up top and the Ciclamina down bottom.
Okay.
Pink and purple.
Pink and purple.
Let's put aside the fact that I think that's a bit of a fashion crime, but I'll also say Italians tend to be way cooler than me. So maybe I won't say my opinion is the important one there.
My mouth is shut here. Yeah.
But normally, even if you're leading a jersey, they have an order. So if you're leading overall, even if you're leading the points, you wear the Maglia Rosa, the leader's jersey. Yeah. And then second in the category will wear that jersey.
Yeah.
To make sure that the jerseys are worn every day. It's only fair for the sponsors. It keeps it interesting. So on the start line, it looked quite funny because Jonathan Milan also had the Ciclamina purple kit on.
Right.
What's that about?
Yeah.
As it transpires, the UCI came out and said that's against regulation. Uh-huh. Now, of all the regulations I do know, what colour jersey you should wear regulations, I can't pinpoint the exact subsection.
Did you
of
look
that
through
one.
the 1,000-page?
Couldn't be bothered this time because WTF UCI that we have to keep looking that up.
Yeah.
What happened actually is the race organiser RCS and the clothing sponsor Castelli wanted to pay tribute. They were racing around Turin to the football team from the Torino Football Club who perished, 31 of them, in a plane accident in 1949. Yep. Coming into land, they crashed into the basilica on a mountain just outside of Turin, and sadly all of them were lost. Most of them were also the existing Italian national team at the time. A very great sporting tragedy.
Indeed,
an Italian tragedy. Yep. And very close to the hearts of everybody still in Turin, as the basilica still sits up on the hill. They wanted to pay tribute in memoriam.
Okay.
And the UCI, just over their heads, don't care.
Yep.
Doesn't look cool. WTF.
So these sort of, these PR, these lovely touching gestures, there has to be a process before they're executed where you're getting approvals and saying, we're looking to do this on this day.
Yeah, there does. But Joel, why? Why does there? Like, who really cares? In the greater scheme of things, if they want to change the leader's jersey or what the leader is wearing, who cares? It's different if a whole team want to change their kit.
Yep.
That needs a process.
Okay.
But the leader's jersey, can't they choose that?
Oh, look, I'm curious about this. Is there also? I guess my second question is an argument for an Italian rider to make that gesture potentially.
Well, but I guess they have to be in the colour.
Yeah.
And so I suppose honouring them with the race leader is beautiful, especially because it differentiates.
Milan was in the.
He was in the Ciclamina jersey, which also that colour is more or less the colour of the Torino Football Club jersey. Hence that.
I agree. I'm with you. I'm just saying, it just looks so bad when this sort of stuff is done after the fact. It's like there is a process that unfolds behind closed doors without becoming a worldwide story where these approvals are given or denied. Like, whatever, let it happen, but just sort it out before it actually happens and you have a knee-jerk reaction.
Well, that's true, actually. In order to make it a beautiful honour, they could have front-footed it and said, whoever is wearing the leader's jersey on this day, this is what we're going to do.
As we go through Turin and we pay... And cycling is really, really good at paying homage, whether it be to its own fallen or other sports, family members, whatever it is. It's got a wonderful history of doing that. So just sort it out.
We've also got a wonderful history of really ballsing up really cool opportunities.
Oh, 100%. That's what I mean. Like, I think it's a lovely gesture. It shouldn't matter either way, but just sort it out without it becoming... Anyway, a bumpy road for the UCI, and there's your segue, Kate. What do you think of the track out there so far?
On the last stage before the rest day, heading into Napoli, Geraint Thomas, he came down, autumn leaves, although it's the first of his season. But he complained about the surface of the roads.
It's a brutal nickname. It's a cracker,
it's a good one,
brutal.
though. He complained about the surface of the roads.
Yeah.
And if you've been to southern Italy, you do know that the roads are pretty poor surface, a lot of potholes, generally a lot of rubbish too, because they often have big strikes around rubbish collection. Like, it's a really interesting part of Italy, quite different to some of the other regions. Mm-hmm. And it's transpired that some of the local newspapers in regions abutting where they were in Naples have previously said that they don't want the Giro to come through their towns because when they do, they resurface the roads, and then some of the local businesses really suffer for that. Hold on.
Go on.
Why? Apparently, one of the booming businesses in the south of Italy are car auto repair shops for the replacing tyres and suspension in cars. Right?
So awful roads are in the best interests of the
local businesses.
Okay.
And then when they come through and resurface the road, these businesses struggle for years.
Years?
Years.
Okay.
Until the roads wear out again.
I
don't know if that's why they weren't resurfaced. But they weren't.
They weren't, and the riders are just there going, at least we're helping the local economy.
I mean, I'm glad that nobody was seriously hurt in this stage, but I think there might be an in-between where you boost the local economy by maybe filling some of the potholes without fully resurfacing.
Can I put my hand up again?
Please.
I have another... Okay, once again, course decisions, surfaces. These are things that are decided in advance.
Yes.
If it is not safe for your peloton, why are they riding over it? Can they not consider option B, option C? You've had more to do with course design. I assume there are alternatives in most cases. It's like, oh, that little patch is great. We might be able to go that way. We might be able to... Whatever. I might be completely wrong here, but I'm just saying, once again, isn't this something that you navigate before you put everyone at risk?
This is a pre-event decision.
And kill local business, apparently?
Not a during event decision.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was funny.
Your thoughts, Merckxy? I'd love to know. Because you can navigate bumpy roads. You have to do it with us every week.
Yeah, well, I think they should pivot and be a pothole filling company.
You've got to be an agile business.
You've got to adapt.
You've got to be agile. I like that.
Do the COVID pivot. So it's like we're now a pothole company and we also do sanitizer.
Well, you know somewhere that I want to pivot, Joel, and I can't pivot, is in our 8 Nations.
Oh, you had to bring it up. I crossed it off the rundown. I wanted to pretend it didn't exist.
We are on our knees. Early on, we were in third, rocketing.
Oh, we were boasting. We were boastful.
I've had 3
How are you
losses
going,
this
Kate?
week. I'm going terribly. Thanks for asking.
That's a bit of karma.
Merckxy. I'm in 12th because this week I lost Lutsenko, who didn't start stage 9. I lost Biniam Gourmet, who didn't finish stage 5. And I lost Lipovitz on stage 6.
Well, look, this is what you get for going rogue.
Yeah.
Well, although Wheelhouse,
Yeah.
we lost Gourmet and Woods.
Yeah.
Stage 5 and stage 6. So I think that's hurt us a little bit.
Well, 3 to 7's not.
It's not going well. But the dream team so far
Yep.
that is leading, and this is Mark Pryor who's putting this together. Bardet,
Okay.
Olav Koy, who won stage 9,
Yep,
first
of
Grand
course.
Tour stage, so that was a good pick. Danny Martinez, Tim Merlier, Jonathan Milan, Luke Plapp,
Plappy.
and Tadej Focaccia.
Okay.
So
And tomorrow,
Yep.
of course, in there at the end.
I'm going to learn from that.
Yeah.
And you might notice there's only 7 names. He also had Gourmet in there. So
Yep. Just back to Merckxy, just quickly on what he asked you there. You still feeling good about your decision to take on the Wheelhouse?
no, I'm not.
Okay.
No,
Good.
I'm not.
No worries.
Yeah.
You know who would be feeling exhausted, probably a bit sore around the upper glutes and whatnot, but still pushing hard for Australia? Is Plappy. You mentioned Plappy there.
Yes.
Plappy.
Well, so after the time trial, he was in the Young Riders jersey.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Great.
Go Plappy. Love it. He gave one of the best interviews I've heard from the entire Giro. And that was to put a bit of perspective on all of the critique out there.
Yeah.
So we sit in here and we look at the numbers and where they finish. And, you know, Caden Groves, he got up there. He had a second. Ben O'Connor's been doing pretty well. But it doesn't really tell the story of where they've come or how they may be feeling, from a emotional, intellectual, personal level. And what he said is, firstly, he couldn't have dreamt up a better first week in a Grand Tour.
Yeah.
So go Plappy.
Love that, Plappy.
The next thing he said was the first Grand Tour he rode, and the last one, was the Vuelta in 2022.
Yeah.
And in that race, he was in the Gruppetto most of the time, with one Aussie superstar, Caden Groves.
KG.
And so he said, compared to then, he was in the break with Caden Groves the other day, and Plappy got third on the stage.
Yeah.
And Caden Groves has run some top threes.
Yeah.
The difference in their journey in 18 months is phenomenal. And you may not see that on paper, but to those individual riders, that gives them the faith and the hope that they know they're on the right path. So even though he only lasted a day in the Young Riders jersey, what he's proven to himself, no matter what happens now, is that he can do Grand Tours.
He belongs.
He belongs.
Yep.
How good is that?
It's fantastic.
It is so cool. Just the way he spoke in the interview, so calm and so confident, you could tell that it had clicked for him.
Yeah.
That he'd had some doubts, and deep down he has a huge amount of confidence, but that he has had voices in his head saying, you're confident, but should you be?
Should you be there?
Should you be that confident?
Yeah, yeah.
And so I love it. So validation.
Absolutely.
And the Aussies are in really, really great shape. And the other thing I want to point out, though, is he had a really good time trial.
Yes.
But possibly not as good as what you may think, understanding that he is aiming for Olympic and World Championship podium for the time trial. But he
This is
pointed
promising,
out
extremely promising.
that in those occasions you don't have to do a 4-hour mountain stage the day before. And so he was saying, I'm really pleased with how it went, because if I didn't carry all that fatigue, I know I'm in the mix.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, how good's that?
So good.
What a great reason to justify riding up a mountain for 4 hours.
I know.
I'm going to get that out of it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It is.
Glutes O'Connor, so there's a guy that I'd trust to lead out a sprinter any day of the week. So he's right up there in the GC and has maintained that, which is very good to see. Just saying quickly, statue, we've said it before.
We have said it before.
You heard
It's
it here first.
And I also want to point out that last week we were very excited about the Tour of Hungary. The week before, one certain Scott McStory said a certain Mark Cavendish was possibly out to pasture. Merckxy,
Yeah. No, I believe he said he doesn't have it.
he doesn't
Doesn't
have
have
it.
it.
Does he?
Well, he won 2 stages in a row, so.
Tour of Hungary, he did very well. But I'm going to just throw it out there with another Aussie. Sam Welsford won the first stage. Now, in the second stage, Dylan Groenewegen swung out, got in his way, got penalised for it.
Yeah.
That's the stage that Cav won. So,
Oh, you're putting an asterisk on the stage.
I
am.
Oh.
yeah.
Scott's
Scotty-
probably nodding profusely as you say that.
Yeah.
He's like, yep,
Yeah.
they brought that around.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, I'll go on the Wheelhouse again. Thank you. You
Yeah.
saved that.
Yep.
Notice, Scotty, if you're listening, I had nothing to do with it. Did not partake.
No.
I will never question a Scott McGrory selection. I just
Well-
will not.
And
Yeah.
Sagan, he came top 20. He was, He wasn't.
Speaking of baguettes,
Well, he wasn't out to win. He's just getting in form for
Just
the
right in the
Olympic Games.
how's his mountain bike qualifying going?
No, it's
Merckxy?
impossible to win to get in with points.
Right.
But
so,
he'll get a wild card.
I'm surprised he's
He'll
not
get
in
a
our
wild card.
Eight Nations team, even though he's
yeah,
not competing.
Merckxy
That's
hopes
how we're going.
he'll get a wild card. You know what? Here we go.
Yeah, cool.
Ready for my segue?
Yeah.
Do you know what might have helped Peter Sagan at the Tour of Hungary?
What, Kate?
Super secret chain coating, Joel.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
That
That was natural, seamless. Wouldn't even notice.
No, well, I want to talk about this because every week we're talking about how, Pogacar. Now
oh,
I'm
no.
mixing it.
Just call him to tomorrow.
Tomorrow is so dominant. Is it because of the Colnago?
Yeah.
It's definitely something to do with that. But I dropped into BikeBug
Yes.
to get my own bike fixed.
Bikebug.com, you mean? Yeah.
Yes. And I saw a product and I said, excuse me, what is that? It looked like candle wax to me. It's called Secret Chain Blend. I didn't know if it was coffee or if it was candle wax. It's wax.
Oh, and what, you
Right.
DIY make it, you mix it up?
So what this product, and this is by Silka, who I'm familiar with because they used to make these wonderful hand pumps.
Okay.
Check
What
this
is
out.
that?
So what this is, I've got my hands on a
Looks like a dog bowl.
It does.
Yeah.
I've got a bag of hot melt chain wax.
Sure.
And I've got this red contraption that has a little lid. And what you do is you put the wax in there, you heat it up, you put the chain around here, you let it hang, you dip the chain in the wax, you let it hang from here, and then you don't have to lube your chain. It doesn't get dirty. It is always this beautiful colour and works beautifully,
Right.
reducing any chain friction or
Okay.
Or
So
dirt.
this is a legitimate, yeah, cool.
It is.
Just don't let your dog near it.
Don't let your dog near it.
No,
First,
good
you have
point,
to
yeah.
give your chain a deep clean. And I don't regret asking if I could take this home, but I have watched how to do it on a video.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to give it a go now.
Oh, please.
'Cause
Can
I
you,
can't
can
just
you
have it as
video
a prop.
your attempt?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yep. So
One thing I did notice is it fashion to have one hand with nail polish and the other without.
that is a fail.
Yeah, that's
that
interesting.
is a
Was that in the
multitask
lube?
fail.
Is that why that happened?
Yes. One
it's 'cause
hand
you-
was in the chain
tested
stripper.
out the chain stripper
Yeah.
on your fingernails.
No,
Right.
but this is super cool.
It is.
And I can't help but thinking that my philosophy behind was just train hard and your bike
Yeah.
will be good
Yeah.
and good to go.
Yeah.
But there's all these little things that actually make a really measurable difference.
Okay.
So it's not just about fashion, and that's the cool thing to do.
Oh.
But
Just point it to camera 3. What's the brand on there?
Silka.
Silka. Ooh, Silka.
yes.
Silka.
And my
Look at
father
that.
was a very, very big fan of
Yeah.
Silka hand pumps.
Yeah.
Oh
Or
yeah.
frame pumps that went on your bike.
Didn't one of
Okay.
your ex-boyfriends whack someone over the head with it?
Not one of my ex-boyfriends. No, but very quickly we had two Dutch people
Well,
staying
hang on, with a
us.
chain?
Oh,
Yeah.
with a pump. We had
Okay.
two riders staying with us, Pellekill and Harm Janssen. They
Yeah.
were two
Not
Dutch
not
riders.
bikies.
No,
okay.
cyclists.
Okay.
They had
Yeah.
Very good
stomachs like
cyclists.
washboards, I'm told, Joel.
They-
Oh,
they did.
really?
Mm.
Okay.
They were athletes. My sister had met them at the Junior Worlds in the Netherlands
Yeah.
and said to them, if you ever need a place to stay, come to
So
Casa
they
Bates.
said, "Oh, do you mind if we stay with you?" And she said, "Absolutely."
well, we were young.
Was one of
anyway.
them Nat's friends or?
No.
No.
No, there was no relations going on.
chain
No,
gang.
I'm not suggesting.
No,
I'm just.
and Pella Kill,
Uh-huh.
one of the Dutch fellas, who I believe actually might work for Shimano in the US now.
Full circle.
Oh, we'll have to
Wow.
look
Full
him up.
circle. Anyway, my father lent Pella and Harm
Yeah.
frame pumps
Okay.
to
Yeah.
go riding in case they got flats. Anyway, so they go out training in Sydney. They get into an altercation with a motorist because back then motorists in Sydney were pretty dangerous.
Back then.
The motorist goes to
No.
sock a punch on Harm, and Pella, I think it was, grabs the frame pump and smacks him over the head.
Whacked him over the head with the frame pump.
Yes, and
Okay.
so the frame pump was then bent
Oh.
like a semicircle.
Okay.
And because it was, and my father had specifically said, take care of these, please. So they came home and presented to Robbie said dented
Here's what happened.
pump and explained what had happened, and I don't think anybody quite knew what to say.
Wow.
Well, that was the old Silka pump.
Sounds like we need a distraction. Check out these abs.
Pretty much.
Wowee.
Very random. That story certainly wasn't on the rundown, but
That
there
is
you
a-
go. There is my Silka history.
Bike vs. Car Museum, authentic pump with battle damage. We need to donate them.
We do.
When we
do.
open the
and
museum.
I am going to attempt to wax my chain.
All right.
Wow.
That is not a euphemism.
Do that in private, I think.
Okay.
anything.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Merckxy and I both. What do we do here? So we've got some jerseys on set and lots of paper.
Right.
No,
I'll
that's
need
great.
a bigger bowl than that. Well, I got lots of chains.
Yeah. No.
Mountain
You guys, I've
bike,
seen your
gravel
bike
bike.
collection. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Lots
right.
of tubes. Lots of
Can
chains.
you awkwardly move on
I
somehow?
really
Segue?
can. Now that felt like one of those school time afternoon shows where it's like, okay, today we're going to conduct a science experiment. So thank
There
you
you
for
go.
that. Very,
Yes.
very good.
Yes.
Now let's turn to a little bit of women's racing. Before we do, just a quick reminder, bikebug.com. I think we've had a couple of questions about the website to look for, bikebug.com. And that code, Catherine,
Wheelhouse.
just one word, lowercase, Wheelhouse.
If you want to wax your chain, head over to bikebug.com.
Yeah, buy a frame pump and bop your bestie over the head with it. That's what we do. Now, let's go to Lavinia. Catherine. So let's get serious now because a serious incident has happened. We've spoken a lot on this show about the proximity of team cars, whether they be associated with the team, whether they be associated with broadcast media, whatever. I've never loved it, to be honest. Unless you're tomorrow Pogacar and you can literally outride a motorbike, I think it's dangerous. And we've had an incident. A team car has hit a rider.
Yes.
Not at all what we want to see. How the F word is this happening?
Yeah. So Amandine Muller was hit by one of the team cars. They were in a break of two riders, and the rider from Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes dropped back to her team car to have a chat, presumably about tactics and whatnot. And the team car has not wanted the gap to open up too much between herself and Amandine Muller at the front. So he has ridden just behind while talking to his rider, but has not been paying a lot of attention and has clipped the back wheel of Miss Muller and taken her down. It's horrifying because you can see it happening. And the motorbike caught it all on camera. I am just so glad they didn't that she didn't fall to the right.
Yes.
And they didn't film.
Of course, yeah.
Something far. I literally get goosebumps.
Fell away from the car. Yeah.
Cars are weapons against cyclists. It is completely unacceptable, not only for the team director to be so careless with driving, but also I found it really offensive, Joel, the social commentary around it. And Merckxy, you pointed this out too. People have been saying like, oh, whoops.
Well, I wonder
Whoops.
okay.
He nearly killed someone.
Would they be making the same comments if it had gone the other way?
Oh, you couldn't.
No.
But I bet you they would be saying, oh, it was an accident.
Okay.
No, an accident is when something on your car breaks
Yep.
and you lose control and you have no control over that.
Yep.
An accident is not taking care and hitting someone, clipping someone with your car.
Let's look at, I guess, just the law around negligent driving because it's very, very much an offence. That's not, you can't just say, oh, sorry, I wasn't looking, I was distracted. It's like, no, that's negligent driving. You're in a lot of trouble.
And I suppose people have gone on the whoops side because it's open roads, it's police controlled, the cars are allowed there, and so it isn't normal driving circumstances.
Yeah.
And we do see things with cars and riders in races that you would not tolerate in normal driving circumstances. But we tolerate too much if we think this is a whoops. I'm not suggesting he did it on purpose, but it was so entirely preventable And these are 16, 17-year-old girls too.
Just a quick question here. So the standard team car, and our man Hank Vogels, I'm sure, will be able to confirm or deny this, but you've got more than one person in a team car as a rule. You've got someone in the passenger seat on the walker. You've got someone driving.
Yeah,
Was
you
this
do.
one driver operator?
At a junior race, you probably have the director would probably be driving, and then you might have a mechanic in the back.
Right,
so
okay.
she was driver's side. But that makes it even...
No, it's worse. Yeah, no, it's no good at all. I'm really curious. The second question I have is cars having some influence on the race. As you said, they wanted the two riders to not be too far apart. That shouldn't be allowed. Am I wrong saying why are cars allowed to play that role in a bike race?
Yeah, I mean, this is a debate that rages about use of race radio.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume they didn't have race radio.
It's not
but
a
it's
pace
also
car, it's a team car.
No, it's a team car, but
Yeah.
it's also pretty common practice. When you're in a break, and the gap is over a minute, your team car is allowed to sit in behind the break to service you.
Okay.
And so it is pretty common practice to then drop back to the car and have a chat rather than talking by radio. And that's okay. But because it was a two-rider break, the cars come up rather than her dropping back.
Yeah, sure.
And so Amandine Muller has been literally just in front of the car, and you can just only presume that the team director didn't want the gap to open up and her to have to chase. But that's part of if you drop back to chat to your car, you have to chase back. It's not a big chase, but that's a risk you take. Is it worth doing that or not? It doesn't excuse it even mildly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Well,
And
look,
by the way, both riders fell.
yeah.
So
it was terrible.
both of the riders in the break fell
Because she ran into the other one.
because, of course,
Yeah.
honestly, it's so horrendous to watch.
There's so much I just don't get like that. Literally, you have a car forcing you to keep pace. Like, even if the car doesn't hit you, what if you lose a cleat? What if something happens that slows you down abruptly and you're set up for that sort of thing to happen anyway?
A car is a weapon.
It is.
And
it's ridiculous.
It shouldn't be used as a weapon.
Yeah.
It can inadvertently be used as a weapon if you don't take care. You have a responsibility.
Okay, yeah.
They're still talking about what the final outcome will be for him, but I want him deregistered from driving in a
Shouldn't
convoy.
be in a team car.
He shouldn't be.
No.
And if there is a course that they can do, and the UCI do run drivers courses, then he can do that and prove that he knows how to responsibly drive.
Yeah.
But until then, if he's just slapped on the wrist or something, entirely unacceptable.
It can't happen. It's a race, it's a sport, it's important, but it's not as important as human life. So that's crazy. So thankfully she is okay, or they're both okay. As you say, could have been a lot worse. So we'll watch that one. We'll consult the handbook as well.
I tell you what, that is a massive WTF UCI.
They need
if
a
they
big
don't,
subsection.
if they're not strong on that one,
Yeah.
I will keep an eye on that. Highlighters at the ready.
Good to know. We've restocked those. Merckxy and I went and bought a bucket of them, a whole bucket of highlighters. A bucket of highlighters. Okay, let's go to Itzulia.
We had to look up how to say
Itzulia. And forgive me if I've said it wrong.
that. No,
I
it's
do
said
not mean
beautifully.
offence.
According to
Itzulia,
the interwebs, that's
Women's Tour.
perfect.
Did you just do the Google how to say? And
I did.
Yeah, great.
And it gave me a Spanish woman or a Spanish man saying it.
Did they say it like in Italian, or like was it like a Spanish person trying to say it in Italian?
No, it's in Spain. It's in Basque
Sorry,
country.
I meant the other way around. Was it they say it in Spanish, or was it an Italian person?
No, it was.
doing-
I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Itzulia.
Okay. Itzulia Women's Tour. Let's talk about it. So, Misha Bredewold. Really, really good. Great
Really,
performance.
really good.
Loved it. Stage 1 and 2. Great in the sprint. Just forget about it. All good. Stage 3. A bit of a hold my beer moment that Kate's just ready
I'm
to
cranky.
absolutely wind
I
up.
don't know why I'm so cranky, but I'll explain it to you.
Oh, crank on.
And you and Merckxy can, say I'm either out of line or...
Yeah, we'll keep the
We'll get
chain
on the
stripper
bandwagon.
handy. Yeah.
But essentially, Bredewold has won stage 1 and 2. The first, a sprint, like you say. The second, in a breakaway with Mavi Garcia and Juliette Labou, both big-named riders. Incredible standout performances.
Loved it.
It's a World Tour race. Wow.
Fabo.
SD Works.
What a team.
What a team.
What a team.
Sitting
Yep.
back
Multiple.
in fifth on these stages was Demi Vollering.
bike
She's won a few
rider, right?
races.
Yeah.
Everyone knows her
Yep.
because she's won a lot of races. Do you know one of the reasons she's won a lot of races?
That brutal kind of edge, but that potentially that she has.
But team, Joel.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
She's
of course,
had
team support. Yeah.
I'm trying to guide you to the
I've
segue.
jumped. Yeah, no, my bad.
Just stay with me
That
here.
killer instinct.
Well, that's where we're at now.
Yes.
Because after the team dedicating themselves to her for years,
Yep.
there is no question that there's a little bit of ill feeling in the team. She knows she's not coming back. She's made that clear. She's kind of given the old bird to her teammates and said, thanks for your dedication. I'm out of here for lots of money soon. Anyway, so she attacks on the final stage and she wins. And she takes the leader's jersey, and Bredewold finishes third on the stage but ends up finishing second overall.
Okay.
I think it's crap.
No good?
I think it's no good because I think that in this case, this is another case of the Vuelta and Jumbo and watching Roglic and Kuss and Jonas all fight it out. What was the right thing to do? He's been a great teammate. He deserves the support, yada, yada.
Yep.
This is just on a smaller scale, smaller race, but same thing. But given how much Demi wins and given the support she needs at the big races, this would have been an opportunity for Bredewold to be paid back for what she's done.
An olive branch of sorts.
Olive branch.
Okay.
And Vollering could have come in second.
It's still a professional race.
Yes.
That it still counts in her overall when it's all wrapped up down the track in 40 years, because she'll still be racing when she's that old, I'm sure.
Yes.
It still is a notch on that statistical belt.
Yes, Joel, it is still
I'm not advocating, I'm just saying that's
belt.
what it is.
It is.
She's a stats hunter. Of course she is.
Yeah, I think at the end of your career, they're not the Istulia stage race is not going to be one of the ones that people
Itzulia.
put after her name.
Yeah.
Thank you for using Google Pronounce. Itzulia.
Now, look, I know I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. I think it was a pretty shit thing to do. But again, are these discussions that are happening, it's like it's been a good couple of stages, guys. Good luck out there today. Demi, just let's we love what Misha's done.
Well, I think one of the things for the team is it doesn't matter. We just need to win it for the team.
Yeah.
And so they'll work for her for some races because she's the one who can win. But if there's other riders who could have won and could increase the team morale, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just my feeling.
Don't like it? Merckxy, what do you think?
I don't know, yeah.
I don't like it either.
Not a fan?
No.
Yep, cool.
I am also of the belief that they're bike races and they should, may the best person win and race. But realistically, that's not the sport.
Yep.
Because realistically,
It's a team sport.
Yep. And
I
only one person
like
gets
what you're
the
saying there.
spoils.
Yep.
So I think there has to be moments.
But
where it's
also,
the team.
I agree with you guys. I think it's ordinary, but I think she is the powerhouse. She's the one. She's the stats hunter. But at the same time, are we surprised? This isn't the first time she's shaded a teammate. It's happened as often as tomorrow wins today. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but it's just a bit, I don't know, I find it a bit disappointing.
Yeah, a bit shitty.
Well, because as women's cycling evolves to be closer, and we're so much closer now to, an equal footing with the men's racing, there's some characteristics that are so beautiful about the sport. And one of them is the mateship and the ability for a team to win even when an individual rider gets the jersey.
Yeah.
And so I just want to continue to see that.
And to share that victory.
Yeah. We
accordingly.
criticise
Yep.
the men in the same way, so we should talk about them in the same way.
Do you think SD Works is like, look, we're losing a quality rider, but at the same time, thank God she's
I do.
Yeah,
And you've got to question, they'd be feeling pretty disappointed too, that they've put a lot into her and a lot of faith and, personal faith, team faith into all her victories. And it's hard to not take it personally when they did offer her a contract and she's chosen not to stay.
And she clearly doesn't want to be there. I think there's a bow to this as well, where she's just like, you are all part of this organisation that I'm not associated with anymore. So
Yeah. Well, and when you change teams, and I changed teams a few times, and it depends. There's either the conversation where you're like, I cannot wait to get out of here fast enough. You guys suck.
Yeah.
And they say, you suck too, off you go. Animosity. And then there's the conversation that is much more common that is, I love this team and I've loved my journey on this team. I love my teammates. But I want to take another step and I want to grow, and I think change is needed to do that.
Okay.
And that's actually quite a sad moment. It's like a mutual breakup where you both acknowledge how special it's been, but you know that to go the next level, there needs that. This isn't that.
This is messy.
Because they've said, we'd love you to stay. And she might behind the scenes be saying, oh, I'd love to stay, but I need a new thing. But it's been so poorly communicated. And now everybody's just toing and froing, what team is she going to? And it has, even if it started there, it's ending in quite a messy way. And so I do reckon the team are probably thinking she's high profile. She should just, be on her way to a degree.
Okay. Especially after what we've seen in
Itzulia.
Okay.
Yeah, we had some Aussies out there.
We did.
Spratty, Sarah Roy, good to see her back out there.
Good on you, Sarah.
Plouffe, Danny Di Francesco, Brodie Chapman and Amber Pate were flying the flag.
Yep.
So the Olympic team will be named soon. And I think there's some Aussies with some high hopes.
Yep, some of that list.
We'll be
all
talking
of that
about,
list?
well, no, we only get 3 road riders, 3 or 4.
That's
but we'll
brutal.
be talking about that when it does get announced.
How many reserves?
Well, you don't really have reserves.
No reserves.
You don't have travelling reserves.
Four person
So-
bench, and an extra, a spare on top of that.
Nah,
That's
it'd be
what-
good, but
That's what we should do.
nah.
I'll work on it. That makes me feel a bit blue because someone has to miss out. Anyway,
blue,
it's the
blue.
Wheelhouse podcast, and we are feeling blue, and it's not because we're sad, because we're always happy in here. We literally are a bit blued out. And it's, look, I am wearing blue and I'm on a blue backdrop, but that pales in comparison to the sheer amount of blue we're seeing. Sorry, I can't do
You've
it.
also got blue eyes.
We're seeing in world cycling. There we go, I got there.
Thank you. What we're talking about is this lovely little list that I put together, Joel.
I'm blue with
Now, I want you to tell me what these teams have in common. Groupama, Decathlon,
Okay.
Sudal,
Yep.
Astana,
Yep.
Israel Premier Tech,
Yep.
Jayco Alula,
Yep.
Lidl Trek,
Yep.
Movistar,
Yep.
DSM, Alpecin.
Okay, processing. A, they're all bike racing teams, but secondly, they're all a little bit creative and inventing, and they strive to be different in the way they put together their uniforms. Is that right?
We accept that they don't.
It's the opposite of that,
It's
isn't
the blue.
it? Oh,
Their
wear
base
blue.
is blue. Like their main colour, if you're trying to look at them, is blue.
You know what though? At least we have teams to save some grace on this front. At least the likes of, for example, Bora.
Yeah, Bora in green and green. We've got in yellow Jumbo and Intermarché, Wanty Gobert. In
Yep.
red, we've got Arkea, Cofidis and Ineos.
Great.
Except that's false. Joel,
What?
Red Bull Bora. The
Oh,
colours are in
It's
blue,
blue.
blue, 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 blue,
Not
blue,
just blue, it's like royal blue.
So we welcome the 11th Men's World Tour team to be wearing blue.
And that Red Bull Bora, it looks a lot like the driving suit, the race
so
suit of the
it's
Formula 1
consistent
team.
with that, and I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But honestly, like, use some more primary colours. I loved the Bora kit, the green and the green,
Yeah.
the different hues.
just-
You could go with our beautiful Wheelhouse tuxedo. It's
not all
too.
blue, though.
No, but we've got the beautiful watermelon highlights
Yeah.
in our
You
tuxedo.
could do that. I reckon we should send that to Bora and say, whoa, before you pull the trigger, even though you have, because you've released
Chuck
the
a Red Bull
images,
logo on it, you reckon?
throw that on,
Well,
yeah.
over your shoulder is the UAE Emirates jersey. Not a lot of blue on there.
Not a hint of blue.
But I think they could up their game with the tuxedo design.
I do too. I do too.
There'd
It's
be
an
room for
absolute-
all the sponsors on there.
It's a blue out.
Yes.
It's a blue wash.
Before we go, Joel, because
Yes.
we need some sleep because, the Giro and the time zones here in Australia are really, really nasty.
Yep.
But I stumbled upon from NZ is Beautiful, if anybody knows who this person actually is, these beautiful World Tour calendars. on
Excellent.
Essentially spreadsheets for men and women. So you can just print them out and figure out exactly what races are coming when.
That's amazing.
It's visually absolutely beautiful and delightful. Thank you to the internet for finding this for me. So I've printed them out so I can tell you that the next World Tour races for the women are the Vuelta a Burgos, Ride London, and then the Women's Tour.
Great.
Of Britain. For the men, after the Giro, we've got the Dauphiné,
Yes.
Tour de Suisse, and the Tour de France.
Tour de France. Which one's that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it is beautiful. So thank you to NZ is Beautiful, whoever you are. If anybody knows who that actually is, please.
Can they do a Wheelhouse calendar for us?
It'd be
that
great.
Would be very helpful.
Yeah,
for all of us.
it's a sub thread on Reddit. I don't even know how Reddit works. I use it on Chrome. Maybe I need to figure that out.
Oh, Reddit. That's a deep well.
It is.
Yeah, deep well of
I'm not
knowledge.
prepared to install the app. I don't know what'll happen.
Fair enough. Look, I love it. It's beautifully. It's colour-coded. I love it. The big yellow block means that, yes, indeed, TDF is just around the corner, so that's exciting. But let's get through the Giro first, and let's do it wearing blue, because that's something new.
That's what everyone's doing. And,
world cycling.
Joe, we've got to go. I've got to go wax my chain.
Time to go.
I've got it all here. I'm ready. I've got all the equipment.
All right, Merckxy.
The silk
Do you want to lube up and go for a ride while Kate's waxing the chain, or...?
wax heater.
Yeah, it might take me a while though. It's a big chain.
On that note, like, share, subscribe. I promise you it's a podcast about cycling. It is. It definitely is. But anyway, good luck to everyone in the Giro and everyone watching on. And please help us out with a nickname for tomorrow, today. Yes, today, Pogacar. Kate doesn't like any of them. She likes Focaccia. You don't even like the baker, so...
Focaccia.
Okay. Let's see how we go in the Eight Nations. Let us know if you're doing better than 7th. And where are you coming again? Just
12th.
12th.
Thank you.
Cool. Excellent.
Thank you.
That's what you get for taking on the Wheelhouse. But you should take on the Wheelhouse if you haven't already. Tell everyone you know. It's the funnest podcast going around. It's easily digestible and mostly factual. I really wanted to bring that out because we started this show with that tagline and I feel like we've honoured it.
We have. And you too can wax your chain if you go to bikebuck.com. I think we need to go.
Lube up, ride on and wax that chain. We'll see you next time.